Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. This episode is all about where to live on Bogue Banks in general and Emerald Isle specifically. In choosing a location for your beach home, you should begin by asking yourself, how do you want to use your second home? What factors are most important? For example, how important is a water view? How important is beach access versus access to stores and restaurants? Anglers may want to be closer to the deepwater port of Morehead City. Windsurfers and paddleboarders may want to be closer to Bogue Sound. The best home for rental income that is located oceanfront may not be the best home for a year-round residence. I urge all my clients to take some time to write down those factors that are most important, as well as those that definitely are unimportant, and to share this information with me, your real estate coach. This will save both of us a tremendous amount of time in your property search. Ask me how, I know. Buying a vacation rental property or second home is not unlike purchasing a car or a boat. Different models have different features and different price points. I'm in the real estate business, so instead of models, I will focus on location, and I will start with oceanfront. Oceanfront. There is nothing quite like going to sleep, listening to the waves washing up against the beach, or watching the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean, promising another day full of joy and fun. The beach and the ocean are why most people visit or live on Bogue Banks and Emerald Isle, and every square foot of oceanfront is precious. Somewhere in the late 50s and early 60s, the first homes were built in Emerald Isle. People back then thought that anyone who chose to build here was crazy. There was no bridge, you got here by boat. There were no roads, you got around by four-wheel drive trucks. There were no utilities, you fired up a gas generator. Little did these naysayers know that the draw of the ocean would make enduring these pioneering conditions well worth the effort in the years to come. Besides the proximity to the beach and the unobstructed views, oceanfront properties provide the highest and most consistent rental incomes. Oceanfront homes book faster than properties off the ocean. Oceanfront properties also tend to appreciate faster than all other island properties. Owning oceanfront is not always idyllic. Oceanfront property is generally much more expensive than property anywhere else on the island. Oceanfront properties require a higher level of maintenance because oceanfront homes are exposed to constantly blowing winds and moist, salty air. Exterior paint that should last 15 years doesn't make it past 7. HVAC units rust before your eyes. Deck replacement costs as much as your first home. Windows, doors, and shingles tend to have a shorter lifespan closer to the ocean too. And who knew about the many types of property insurance policies an oceanfront home required? Not only do you have to purchase homeowners insurance, but you may have to purchase flood, wind, and wind-driven rain policies, or wish that you did. Regardless of these additional costs, owning an oceanfront property has its rewards with the fantastic views, the short distance to the water, and the tremendous rental income potential. Ask me how, I know. A second property location is Oceanside. Emerald Isle has one main thoroughfare, locally known as Emerald Drive, and officially called U.S. Highway 58. Emerald Drive can be difficult and dangerous to cross during the busy summer season unless crossing at a stoplight. For this reason, most vacationers prefer renting on the ocean side of this road for the ease and safety of getting to the beaches. Quite a few oceanside homes in Emerald Isle have good views of the ocean, and getting to the beach may take only a minute or two. Prices in this area vary from a modest monthly mortgage payment to homes costing north of $1 million. Everything from heat pumps to doors will last a little longer in this oceanside area because the elements simply do not beat down on these homes quite as much. Typically, this area also has a little bit more of a neighborhood feel. Many oceanside properties in Emerald Isle have high elevations, so buyers who want a view of the ocean can often accomplish that goal at a price point significantly lower than oceanfront. All in all, the oceanside area of Emerald Isle is perfect for most people buying their first vacation rental home. It gives them a feel of the beach without all of the costs, and also provides the opportunity for significant rental income. A third location on the island is called Soundside. And Soundside is where most locals in Emerald Isle live, especially since the Soundside tends to be quieter during the summer months. People who make a permanent move here enjoy the numerous cedar and live oak trees, and having neighbors makes living at the beach feel a little more like home. Children can go outside and play and not worry about traffic, and locals drive their golf carts across Emerald Drive to get to the beaches, only a few minutes away. Homes here tend to be located atop of dunes, affording views of both the ocean and the sound. Buyers thinking about purchasing a second home that they do not want to put into a vacation rental program often consider this area. Prices are more affordable, and neighbors in this area look out for each other. A fourth location is Soundfront. History shows that the first residents to Bogue Banks preferred the sound side of the island to the ocean side. The same appeal that the Soundfront offered more than 100 years ago makes owning a Soundfront property in Emerald Isle equally attractive today. Homes directly on the Sound are more expensive than Soundside neighbors. In the summer here in Emerald Isle, winds coming off the Sound and the lush maritime forest shielding the harsh sun combine to keep the temperature Soundfront at a comfortable level. Listening to the waves lap up against the shore has an almost hypnotic appeal. But the best aspect of summer Soundfront living are the sunrises and sunsets over Bogue Sound. While the ocean may sometimes be too rough for swimming, the Sound is always a perfect spot for a dip. Also, Sound water is much warmer most of the year. Few Soundfront properties offer deep water dock space. However, many Soundfront owners store their boats all summer on lifts at the end of their pier. Soundfront owners also enjoy great crabbing and fishing off the end of those piers. Rental income on Soundfront property can be good in most beach locations in Emerald Isle. The spring and fall seasons are the peak times of year for kiteboarders, paddleboarders, and windsurfers. These water sport enthusiasts prefer to be as close to the Sound as possible. Also, more and more vacationers are tending to prefer the Sound over the ocean. Location, location, location. It matters on the mainland where you probably live, and location matters here on Bogue Banks and in Emerald Isle where I live. However, regardless of where you live on Bogue Banks or in Emerald Isle, you are always within a few minutes of the ocean, white sands, and a refreshing breeze. Bottom line, Emerald Isle has multiple locations: oceanfront, oceanside, soundside, and soundfront, to satisfy your lifestyle, your budget, and your overall goals. Regardless of which location you decide to call home in Emerald Isle, rest assured you will not make a bad decision. Ask me how I know. And when you want to know more about location, go to my website, www.eihomesforsale.com, and request my guide to living in Emerald Isle, or text your email address to 919-308-2292. Return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.